So gang, we got some more clay. Knew I had some somewhere, just didn't know where I had it. So this is part 2 of the pumpkin sculpting thing we're doing. So we got me some lunch. Figure I'd come back and finish this up. I'm still waiting on some of my stuff to dwell, so it's no big deal. Is that too far away from you guys? I need to get a little closer maybe. I don't have the best setup here. It's okay. So a lot of this stuff is you can do however you want to. Now I was looking at this stem up on here, but I wanted kind of an aggressive look, so I wanted to push it back a little bit. So that's why it's so far back. I wanted an aggressive look on that. So now I'm just taking some extra clay. Hey, what's up, John? Berlina, hey, what's up? So you guys are kind of beside of me. I probably need to move you a little closer where I can read your stuff too. So if you guys use any of this clay, this is wet clay. If you guys use any of it and you get a real dry spot on your thing, or air got up underneath your plastic or something, take and put you a wet towel on top of it, wrap that back up in plastic, and it should rehydrate your clay. It depends on how far it's gone, but that should help if you have that kind of an issue. So right now I'm just touching up a few little spots. Need some kind of a little roundy thing, whatever they call them, to be able to move this thing around a little better. Lazy Susan, that's what I was looking for, Lazy Susan. All right. So what I'm going to do now is probably cut out some of the mouth and the eyeballs. We'll cut it down to the basketball at least. Yeah, moisture them. Yeah, definitely. So what I'm going to do is I got a piece of, this is a strapping, it goes around your paint bucket. I'm going to use that. And We're gonna make a sculpting tool because I don't really have any of the scrapers or anything like that. So we're just gonna make one real quick. So just get you a piece of plastic of some sort, some popsicle sticks. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but we're gonna try it. And just make you a loop in it. Let's see here. Maybe get by with 2 popsicle sticks. I think it'll be fine. So if you guys don't know the difference between men and women, look at the tools they use. It's a total different thing. I tell you what, some of these women come up with some good freaking ideas of tools and different things they make and use. It'll blow your mind. It's stuff that men wouldn't think about. So it's pretty cool. What's up, Brother Cobwebs? So we're going to make us a little tool here with some popsicle sticks, electrical tape, and a piece of a bucket. These aren't bucket buddies or anything. They're just going to be bucket friends. Just little bucket friends, I guess. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we're going to try it. So now we got this little paint bucket rim tool. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to try it. Let's see if that works any better. Is that too high? Yeah, it's too high. All right, if y'all can't see, let me know and I'll try to adjust you. So I went ahead and just traced out the basic shape of the eyes and stuff like that. And now we're just going to pluck it out. I don't know if this is going to work or not. It'll work a little bit. I really need to break down and buy a couple tools. I don't use a whole lot, but it would probably help me along. I'm not liking how that works. So I'm going to take it down to the basketball, and that way we still have a good shape, and we will make these hollow inside so we can either put lights in it or a tea light or Christmas lights or some kind of light inside of these pumpkins. And I think it'll look pretty cool. Let's see what we got here. Let's see this plastic spatula. Get that cleaned out pretty good. I probably should. One of these tools. Might be easier to pull it out with this. Keep it straighter line. There we go. That's more better. All right. So that tool. If you guys want to buy this, I just made it. It's homemade and it's made by me, so it's probably worth, I don't know, 22 cents maybe. If y'all want to buy it, I'll sell it to you for 6 cents. So, all right. Sorry about that. If y'all want to buy this special tool I made, 6 cents plus shipping, I'll send it to you. I'm just kidding. That thing's junk. Anyway, we're going to pull this out. So what this will do, once I'll probably use some kind of tubing or something like that whenever I go to fill this up with foam, and I will go ahead and cut these out inside the foam, so it'll make them a little thicker than what it shows on this here. Because right now they're only like a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. So we'll make sure we get those a little deeper, make it look more like a pumpkin. So I might have 4 or 5 series on this. If you guys are interested in this, I will take and we'll sculpt it. Then we will mold it, and then we'll pour it up and make one, and just go from there. If you all want to see the kind of the whole process, I'm sure you've seen it before on other projects, but I think it'll be a little fun little project. Yeah, look at that. That came right out of there. So, all right. Now we'll just smooth over his eyes so it doesn't look so rough cut looking. So I keep a bottle of water to keep my stuff hydrated a little bit. It doesn't need a lot, just enough to kind of keep it from drying out. You'll feel it in your fingers when it dries out. It'll start wadding up on you and stuff. And the thing is, guys, this wet clay for 50 pounds isn't expensive. It's fairly cheap, so it's something that an average person can afford and be able to take it home and play with it and make something out of it. Unless it's went up in price in the last probably 6 months, because it's been about 6 months since I bought this, but I bought about 250 pounds of clay, so. I go to Atlanta, Georgia, and buy my clay from the engineer guy. And the reason I go over there because it's only a couple hours from me, so it's cheaper for me to drive over there and back to pick up my supplies than it is to have it shipped. Because shipping gets expensive. Okay, there we go, there's that. And this is just something you can make up on the fly. I'm sure a lot of you is a whole lot better at pumpkins than I am. I just kind of threw this together. I'm not a pumpkin guy, but I figured this would be a cool little project for, families, kids, or whatever to get into and do. All right, there it is. So we'll go through and just smooth out that hard line in that mouth a little bit. So I'm running into a problem I didn't think I was gonna have. So I will pass that on to you. So if you run into that issue, you run it. So if you're sculpting on top of a piece of plastic or a ball or something like that, just remember it can come apart from your clay. Your clay can separate from like the basketball or whatever. So keep that in mind. You want to make sure you shove that back in there and you got a good decent seal around the basketball and your clay. If not, your ultra cal is going to get in there and probably create a freaking mess. So you don't want to do that. Don't have to be perfect. But do keep that in mind if you are using this stuff that it can separate. And if it separates, your ultra cal is going to go inside that ball or in between the ball and the clay, and it's going to create a freaking mess that you ain't going to want to deal with. So it's got a tight seal there. Let's go do this time. Okay. So I don't think that looks too bad. So it's clay off my fingers. So that's what I was saying. Sometimes when you start something, just step back, walk away, then come into it, and just kind of, get your bearings on what it looks like and stuff like that. That way you don't make a freaking mistake with something and you're like, crap, man, I should have just took my time. Because I'm kind of impatient. I kind of want my stuff done now. So what I'm going to do around this edge is I got it tapered down to the table. So I want just a little bit of a lip on that. So I'm going to take this little spatula doodad and make it a little lip. And what I'm meaning by lip is I'm going to cut off that sharp edge with this thing. So it's not going to be perfect. You just kind of want to go around it and cut off the sharp edge. And what that's going to do is it'll give you a little lip in your mold whenever you go to do your ultra cal mold and stuff. And that way you'll have a little thickness to your latex. Don't have to be much. It's only going to be maybe a quarter of an inch. And if you do any molds, you're gonna know about the lip thing. It just makes it easier for to get it out of the mold for one, because you're gonna have a nice thickness of latex. So I'm just going to go around with this paper towel and just clean up around the edge here. Try to get a little bit more excess of this clay off. Okay, there we got that. Guys, it's probably 110 degrees in this building right now. It is cooking. There's supposed to come a bunch of thunderstorms today, but so far, no rain. Okay, so now we got a little lip around there, so I feel a little better about that. So all I'm doing is getting the excess up off the table a little bit to make a better flat mold. There we go. All right, there's that. So there's so many ways to do this kind of stuff, guys. It's crazy. I think I'm going to put a few different some lines in it just to kind of break it up a little bit, like especially on this stem. We're going to give it a little bit more detail and see what I come up with. You know, because the stem's kind of like wood anyway, so you kind of want to put that in there somewhere. Okay. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll take a brush and we'll clean that out. Oh, my brushes, oh, they're all over here. Yeah, that's what I want to stiffen. All right, so once you group them in, you want to kind of soften them up a little bit. You don't want them that hard or looking of a thing. So we'll just take a brush and feather those in a little bit. Gives it more of a natural look. And don't worry about it if you get it too much. You can always go back in and resculpt around it or just put your grooves in. So most pumpkins I've seen, they just put a line across them somewhere, put a few lines in it. You don't have to if you don't want to. This is going to have a pretty good bit of detail, just like that, the shape up and stuff. So I'm just going to go through and put a couple lines here, there, and right in it, and we'll call it good with that. Give it some eyelashes. Then we'll just feather all those in so they're not so harsh. Well, I completely left that one out. All right, so I'm gonna leave them a little deep because I do want those pronounced whenever I go to paint this thing. Maybe y'all can see that or not. Probably can't see it from there. All right, so let's go. I think I want to deepen these up a little bit because I want a little deeper set in there so we can be able to see the detail in that. But that would be the thing to do. Okay. Just knock down some of those hot spots. Snots. All right. I think you can do with however you guys want to do it. You can put you some deep grooves in it. You can put you some subtle grooves in it. However you want to do it. But probably so anytime I open up a bag of clay, also, as I'll squirt a little bit of water in there. Shut her back up. As long as you keep these bags closed and tight, you should have no issues of it drying out on you, unless the bag gets punctured or something. There's that is. All right. So there's our pumpkin. Let me see if I can show it to you without making it go out. So, okay. So there's our pumpkin now. Well, let me get my fingers out of the way. There you go. Now you can see. So there's our pumpkin. And you can see the basketball behind there. So that's going to be the base. Now you can rough this base up if you'd like to, or however you want to do it. You can end up making it look like a melted pumpkin. I mean, there's all kind of different stuff you can do if you want to. There's a stem. So that should look pretty decent once we get it molded and get everything painted. So I'm gonna go back and fix up around the bottom of this and whatnot, and we'll mold that bad boy. So, oops. So we'll end up molding that bad boy. If you all want to stick around and watch that, then shoot, we'll just go ahead and do it. I'm gonna get you hooked up here. Okay. That's the only thing bad about going live and having to move cameras. Kind of pain in the butt. And I gotta hook you up to the electricity so you don't die on me. All right. So what do y'all think? Y'all want to see me mold this bad boy? I don't think it'd take too much to do. Probably do it in an hour, maybe. I know it's still kind of early in the day. Everybody's either still at work or getting off work. I think due to it being so freaking hot, I think we should go ahead and mold this thing. That way we're not gonna have any dried out issues on this thing. It. Hot. Right. Well, there she is. I think we just go ahead and mold that bad boy and see what happens. I'm still waiting on a dwelling process anyway. So I make skull barrel toppers, and I want to make sure I get a thick coat on those so they'll last a good while. I was brushing them on, but man, I tell you what, to get a thick coat on that brush on, you got to do it several times. So I'll put about 5 or 6 coats on by brushing it on. I was like, man, I think I can handle it. 8 gallons. I'll just have to dip it out or something. Okay, so there's that. I think, let me make sure this is okay. First up. Now I'm not trying to get this thing perfectly smooth, so I want some of my flaws in it. I just don't want no holes in it and all that good stuff. But I do want some flaws in it, and it's probably got a lot of flaws. But anyway, let's get some stuff here and mix something up. I'm still here. I'm just, I am shifting some Ultra Cal. Usually on my first coats or two, I like to get a nice powdery coverage. That way I get all the little doodads and snots and rocks and the hard pieces out of it. And that will give me a better mold on the first coat. The rest of it I ain't too worried about. It's just a first coat. So I use a little shifter. I use a little sifter to get all the rocks and crap out of it. I will show you what I'm talking about. So it's like this. So some of mine's been in moisture, and you're going to end up with little pieces. Now you can crush some of this up, but I'll try, like that one's hard. But some of this little stuff you can crush up, and I will eventually put all the big stuff to the side, then I'll crush it up and get as much out of it as I can. But for our first coat, I already took the liberty and got me some good fine powder. So now we'll just get a bucket, and it probably ain't gonna be that one, and mix them up. Oh, that's right, I burnt my thing. Let me get a bucket. Chocolate. All right, so I got me a bucket. So I got me a trash can, let me clean a little bit. Thing to dip some water. So I just got me a little trash can. I busted another thing. I forgot I busted it. But you can use 5-gallon buckets or whatever. I've got a couple, but they're not cleaned out. I have to clean them out. Smokes. All right, I had chocolate in. So I'm just going to dip some of this in there. But I forgot, first we're going to have to build a dam wall. If you don't build a dam wall, you're going to have stuff everywhere. And I'll show you how to do that. Let's do that before I get too far on this. So we're going to take clay again. If you got some old trash clay, use your old trash clay. So I usually don't throw too much this way unless it's got a bunch of crap in it. And I'll use my crap for the dam wall. What I mean by dam wall is I'll just make me some little rectangles. Let's just moistened that up a minute ago. So then I'll just build me a little wall. Or you can make some necks of clay, or you can use wood or whatever you got. We got clay, so that's what we're gonna do. And the wall don't have to be perfect. Just all it is keeping the altar cow from going too far out. If there's something I'm not explaining to you very good, just holler at me or hit me up, and I can tell you how I've been doing it or whatever. But there's all kind of different videos on YouTube that you can find that different people makes these walls. Like Distortions Unlimited will show you. Stan Winston will show you. I think it's Stan Winston School of Arts or something like that. I can't remember. But they got some pretty good tutorials on their channel. Their stuff is pretty detailed, and it's more in-depth stuff for like movie makers, you know, people that makes prosthetics and different stuff, animatronics stuff for movies. So I mean, it's pretty cool stuff. It's a good source of place to go and learn different ways to make things other than making a trash bag prop of some sort. They'll show you the way the pros do it. So it's pretty cool. So I have nothing against people using trash bags or whatever for ghost or body pelts or anything like that. It's just not my thing. I think it looks pretty cheap and cheesy. I guess that everything has its spot, but if you want to up your game, then I would get as much knowledge as you can from different people making different stuff, and I would definitely go to the pros. Now, I'm not a pro, but you can definitely go to the pros and see the material lists they use and how they go about making stuff. It's pretty cool. It just gives you another avenue of making something cool and it looking more professional. This isn't professional by all means. It's just a little tinkering thing I figured I'd show you guys, and something for the kiddies to play with as well. Okay. Okay, guys, all that is just a wall to keep your ultra cowl from spreading way out on the table. Because it takes a few minutes for it to start kicking and setting in. So you want to contain that, and you can just scoop it up and put it on your mold. Well, I guess that rubber band ain't going to be used anymore. We'll turn it upside down. All right. So there we go. And we'll mix some of this stuff. Whew. Get some water. So usually on your first coat, you will want a sort of a kind of thing, a little thinner than you would on your rest ones. That way this thinner stuff can get into the grooves a whole lot better. If you get too much water, you can always add more Ultra Cal. We got pretty good right there. So you just kind of want to get as much as those little snots out of it as you can. And how I like mine is whenever it's on your hand and you can't see through your hand, or you can't see through the stuff to your hand. It's kind of about where I like for it to be. All right, since it's hot, let's get this stuff on there for it sets up on us. So I'm going to pour all of this in here. So the reason I pour all of it in there is because I can take my hand and now I can go back in it and shove it up in there. That don't work. Take you a brush, like up around the mouth, or teeth, or whatever. Get you a good coat on it. And you just keep working it like this until it starts setting up, and you'll feel it. Once it starts kicking, it kicks pretty quick. And if it's hot outside, it's going to kick even faster. So just keep that in mind. So what I'll do is I just keep messing with it, and that'll help agitate it and get it mixed up even more. And then you start scooping it up. She's already starting to set up on me. So she'll be kicking pretty quick here in a minute. So once we get this built up, we're going to build something around this section here around the stem. That way we don't have to worry about it so much if breaking it off when we move the mold around. Because you definitely don't want to break that thing off. Put all that work in there and you break the stem off, it's going to suck. Yeah, she's starting to set up pretty good. So once that stuff starts kicking real good, man, you have very little time to play with this. That's why you don't want to walk away from it. Just keep playing with it. You'll be fine. You see it's already taken a nut. And we'll probably end up putting some burlap over it so it'll make it even stronger. If I got any left, that is. I'll just check and see. She's starting to thick. And don't be fooled, guys, if you think it's going to get hot and get thicker. It's still cold to the touch. And I used lukewarm water. So don't be fooled by, oh, it'll get hot before it really sets up. No, she's setting up now. It's going to get hot, but it's not going to get hot that fast. It's messy. It is still cold to the touch. And it's already setting up pretty good. All right, she's about set up. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and of course I'm gonna clean this off my hands. We'll make another batch and put some more on it. Do not wash it down the sink or you will be sorry. Do not wash your hands in the sink, you'll be sorry. I should say. So, all right, so on your second batch, you don't have to worry about as far as the little snots and boogers and stuff in your Ultra Cow. Once you get your first smooth coat on, you should be fine. Get some more. Yes, I know I'm doing a little backwards, but you throw your Ultra Cow in your water. Well, I kind of got a little science down how to do, but it's always a learning curve for different size props or stuff that you're making or molds. But you kind of guesstimate. So far, I haven't had an issue. Not saying I wouldn't in the future, but so far I haven't had an issue. So what I'll do is, so this is the little chunks I was telling you about that's down inside your stuff. When you want to get rid of as much of that as you can. Don't have to be perfect, but I'll just take my hand, crush up what I can, and the rest of it I'll just throw out. It's not too bad. It's a lot better than I figured it would be. Anyway. The chats are working or not. Oh, sorry guys. I probably done missed a lot of your stuff. Thanks, Grimwood. Yeah, man. I was wondering what happened to my chats. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, man. That's awesome, dude. if you guys want to know the right way, go over and check out Grimwood Hollow. He has a tutorial coming up tomorrow. What time is your premiere tomorrow, Grimwood? Huh. Got you on my dash. Sorry, guys, I didn't have my chat turned on. I was like, man, I figured somebody would have said something now. Anyway, okay, there we are. But yeah, Grimwood Hollow is going to have, if he's still here. Okay, 3 p.m. All right, what's your time? Eastern Standard, Pacific? I'm on Central Time. So let me know, Steve, am I doing it wrong? You know what, don't answer that. Just let me think I'm doing something right. Anyway, we're gonna add some more of this here. So this is basically the same thing we did the first time, and we're just repeating. So let me go see real quick if I have some burlap. We'll want some burlap. All right, guys, I don't have no burlap, but I do have bandages. So we'll use those. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff out there to learn. Yeah, I know. I I know mine's not probably the best way to do it, but it's kind of way. Normally, I don't put water in my Ultra Cal. Usually, I add Ultra Cal to my water. So, I think I just got in a hurry today. But yeah, there's a ton of ways to do them. And basically, all I'm doing here is just trying to reinforce my stock right here because I don't want my stock to be all screwed up. I don't want to bust it off if I can help it. Setting up on me pretty quick. But yeah, guys, go check out Grimwood Hollow at 3 o'clock tomorrow, and he will show you the correct way to make a mold for your stuff. I'm an amateur. He has done some movies, and so he's well versed in how to make molds and different ways to do things. So, very talented guy. Make sure you check him out. And he also has a YouTube channel, Grimwood Hollow, I believe. That's how much I pay attention. I just watch and go. But Steve, if you're still on, man, post your YouTube channel on here so people can subscribe to your channel and check your way of doing things out tomorrow. So we can double dip them tomorrow. Or we can double stimulate people's minds with molds and stuff. So normally this would have been a little thinner, but when I walked away, she started setting up on me. That's why you don't want to walk away. So anytime you start doing this kind of stuff, get all your supplies that you're going to need right then and there and have them ready to go. Well, this second coat has really set up on me pretty freaking quick. But we're going to add a thinner coat to fill in some of these big voids and just smooth it down just a little bit. But you can also smooth it down by letting it set up a little bit and keep rubbing your hand over it. It'll eventually smooth down a little bit. Won't be so knotty. Yeah, we'll have to put some thinner stuff in that. So the next one, we're going to do a thinner coat, but we're also going to let it set in the bottom so we can have a rim around the bottom. So we don't want it too thin down here or the thing will just snap in half every time you go to move it, and you don't want that. So. All right, we're going to add one more layer to this, I believe, unless it looks really crappy. For moose knuckle polish. All right, yeah, I need some moose knuckle polish cobwebs. Thanks, sir, I appreciate it. All right, let's get another batch. All right, so we're going to put a little bit of water in that, and we are going to add that to this, and we'll smooth it out a little better and make it look pretty. Or we hope it does. If not, then it's going to have an ugly pumpkin. All right. We're going to need a lot of this. All right, guys, I'll show you what the Ultra Cal 30 looks like in the bags I get from the engineer guy. In case you wanted to know. I'm sure they package it different every now and then, but it'll look something like this. So that's where we're at here. What are my plans for a jack-o'-lantern? I think I'm going to mold it and just paint it and probably sell them. We got a show coming up in March at Fear Expo, so probably make a few and try to sell them or something. I don't know. Unless it looks really hideous, then probably nothing. Probably end up throwing them in the garbage. But I figure I'd mold some, then I will stick, I'll stick something in it. So I'll do some latex and foam fill them and all that good stuff. Man, this stuff is bad here. Look at that. That's all gravel. Well, it's just hard earth. Well, I was saying, if you don't take care of your Ultra Cal, if it gets moisture, so this stuff is probably about 2 years old anyway. So you gotta be careful not to make sure it's in a dry, damp place and in a dry, damp place. That makes no sense. You gotta make sure it's in a dry place and keep it cool and dry. I think it'll be your best bet. Don't try to stick it next to a water source. Of course, my other garage leaked, and it leaked underneath the wall, and it went underneath of my bags of Ultra Cal that I had. And some of it did set up. Like I said, I've been having to shift through it and get all this little pieces out of it. I said it's pretty gnarly. So this kind of stuff, you're not going to get a smooth mold. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to happen. I don't think. But don't throw it away because you can still use it. You're just going to have a shitty looking mold, that's all. Now, if you was doing something very intricate, like a mask with a lot of freaking detail and stuff in there, then I would probably shy away of using your rotted or rocked up pieces like that in your Ultra Cal. I would definitely shy away from that, or that way you don't have to worry about taking a chance on you have a bunch of snots and stuff like that. This pumpkin, I think we are fine. If it does get a snot in it, that'll just add to the look of it. Alrighty, let me see something. Let me see if this thing will work. I doubt it. But, let's see if that stuff will pour through this. I think I've tried it before. Oh yeah. So even though this Ultra Cal is thick, if you get it thin enough, you can dip out some of those little rocks. I'd rather you not do that. I'd rather you take your time. If you're going to use your old Ultra Cow, then to get you a little shifter like this and clean up your rock as much as possible. That way you don't have all that gravelly stuff in there. Now I'm not going to get it all out. We'll take it with it for a minute. Jack-o'-lantern. Greenwood, we're going to do a show in Kentucky, the Fear Expo. So I have a few plans, a few things planned to make for that. A lot of it's just totally out there, so it's like huge pieces and stuff like that. So it's going to take me a while to make them. But if you guys like to see me make some big pieces and whatnot, we'll do some lives or something like that on them. Or if you don't like the lives, I'll just video it. It might be a few series because one of them's going to be probably 3 or 4 days in the making. It's a 6 foot prop. It's going to be 6 foot by 2 foot. It's going to be pretty cool, I think, if I pull it off. If I don't pull it off, then it's just going to make for a YouTube video, I guess. Something not to do or do it different. It's probably going to be the last one I'm going to play with here. Yeah, pretty much got it all there. But, starting to get a little thick. So the thinner this stuff that you make it, the longer it's going to take to set up. All right, let's done playing for rocks. Yeah, it feels much better. Still a few pieces, but we'll be okay. So we're still going to let this set up a few minutes and let it get start setting up. We can put it up on our beautiful mold that we have. That's knottier than a bullfrog. But we'll let it set up a few minutes and let it thicken up so we can actually move it. So I think Keith at Cobwebs and Candlesticks. I think he's got a video coming out tomorrow. It's Friday. Him and Dave usually do a Friday one. I just figured I'd come over and aggravate you guys for a while. Man, this is a hideous looking mold. Whew. I don't know what I was thinking. I know what I was thinking. I didn't want to buy no more Ultra Cow. All right, she's starting to thicken up just a little bit. So if this thing turns out all knotty and stuff, I guess we're just gonna make it a gourd. It won't be a pumpkin, it'll be a creepy gourd. We're also gonna be making full-size foam bodies as well, so that'll be coming out soon. The full-size foam bodies with stand and everything to be able to stand it up, and you can dress it up with your prop head and or mask or whatever it is you want to add to it. And I think it'll be pretty cool. And we're going to have some, hopefully, we will have some rigid foam skeleton pedestals. They're going to be approximately 6 foot tall. So those will look pretty cool, I believe, if I pull it off. But that's in the planning. And they will be made out of rigid foam. So what I'm trying to do is, once I get it sculpted, I will probably end up putting, shoot, what was I gonna say? Once I get it done sculpting, I'll probably end up doing a silicone mold, and then we'll be able to do some rigid foam skeletons. I think that'll be pretty cool. And there'll be for, you know, pedestals or whatever you want to use them for. You can use them for walls or whatever. All right, my ultra cow set up on me in the bucket. So I'm just trying to get me a good rim around here. That's what I want. So I have a little thick rim. I'll mix it a little bit more here in a minute. Not nearly as much though. All right, so let's mix up a little bit more for the rim. Yes, more videos live are also. Who's Dave? Dave is a weird kid. Dave's the weird kid. He's part of the trio of terror. If that's what you're asking, who's Dave? If you haven't subscribed to the Weird Kid Show, go check him out. Me and him and Keith at Cobwebs and Candlesticks, we all founded the Trio of Terror together. Yeah, Berlina. I don't mind doing the lives. They're a little bit more easier. It's a little bit less editing and all that crap. And you see it live. There's no cutting out the bull crap. I mean, you're seeing it all. So that's the only bad thing is if you don't want to see a bunch of downtime in between time. That's the only downfall it is. If you edit, you can cut out a lot of the bull crap and don't have to watch all of it. So, yeah, it's got its perks, I guess. Yeah, I know my table's messy. All I'm doing is knocking some of them sharp spots off of this. Like I said, if you clean up your ultra cow like I didn't, but if you clean up your ultra cow with all the bull crap in it before you start, you should be fine. But that's so I want it just a little bit thicker before I start pouring it in here. Then in probably about 45 minutes to an hour, we can demold this sucker and take the thing out of it, take the ball and the clay out of it, and we'll salvage the clay of what we can. If the clay ain't no good, then we'll trash it, but we'll salvage what we can. That way we can build these dams up around our molds. So this is probably a little thicker than it needs to be. Some of these molds, you don't have to make them real thick. This is a good hard stone, so you don't have to make them super thick. I just sometimes, okay, not sometimes, most of the time, I overbuild, I overdo everything. So, but I think it'll be okay as long as my back can take it. That's going to be the thing. But this shouldn't be that heavy. We should be all right on this. But what I'll do is we will let this set up, and if you want to, we will do another live after a while. Probably we'll come back in about an hour, and we will demold this bad boy and go from there. See how it turns out. I'm kind of anxious now how it turns out. Or see what it looks like inside. Then tomorrow, if you'd like, we will do a live on, well, that might be boring, but I was going to say we'll do a live on dwelling it, but you're not going to sit there and watch this stupid thing dry. So what I'll do, so I get over here early enough in the morning, is I'll go ahead and clean the mold up and go ahead and get it dwelled. Well, there still ain't going to be enough time because we're going to let it dry. All right, so scratch that idea. Tomorrow we might just do a live on something. We might find something else to mold. Hard to tell. Or we sculpt something else. I do have an idea or two that we could get on to and sculpt. All right. Okay. All right, guys, there we go. So we got our mold done. Looks pretty freaking hideous. Yeah, looks pretty hideous. Brush some of them snots off of there. That does a little better. Gets rid of some of them snots. Wait, you feel the heat kicking off that thing now. Yeah, we're just cleaning the snots off of this. There we go. Just so it's a little easier on the hands. We ain't good at moving the mold and stuff around. So there she is. Looks like what's top of an ice cream cone. So now we got a mess. I don't know why that's not staying up there. Oh man, I probably missed a lot of you guys' messages. $3 p.m. Pacific. Grimwood Hollow. You guys check that out tomorrow. Alrighty. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just clean up my mess and sweep up, and then I'm going to demold this bad boy. So I'm probably going to at least wait probably about an hour to take this off the table and demold everything, because I want to make sure it sets up nice and hard. Yeah, there we go. So, foxtail. Just more of this. So it's a foxtail, if you don't know what a foxtail is, or dustpan brush, or whatever you want to call it. So on these kind of molds, guys, I would suggest putting you a piece of web across this, as far as like some bandages or something to make it strong. I need to go back to Home Depot and get me some of that. It's called landscaping burlap, more or less. So a little bit, it's like a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch holes in it or something like that. But that's pretty good stuff. So I would suggest, if you make one of these, get it in your corners. That way you have a nice bond between this and that. You don't have to worry about it breaking so much. Now I like my big mold. I have broke that in the flange, and where I put all of that mesh and stuff in there, it's broke. But it's not coming apart. That's the beauty of it. It's not going to come apart. It doesn't hurt anything. It just holds everything together. See what a mess. Ooh, it's nice and wet too. Do not put your Ultra Cow in any kind of sink whatsoever. Don't even wash your hands in it. Even if you don't think you got that much on there, it will clog your sink up tighter than a wedge. So don't do that. Oops. All right, guys, so there's our mold. This is our pumpkin mold that we did, or creepy pumpkin. And We're gonna let this mold set up. You can see here how hard it is. See, that's stone, man. That stone sets up quick. So what I like to do is once it heats up real hot, once it cools down, that's when I kind of want to pull it off. So about an hour or so. It might not even take an hour to cool down. It's already starting to cool down a little bit in places. But anyway, we appreciate you guys joining in. We will be back in about an hour or so if you guys want to hang out then and come on and say something or tell me how. Man, it looks like a tip of a condom. That looks like a tip of a condom, man. All right. Anyway, I'll see you guys back later after a while. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you. Keep it creepy.